Hello and welcome to REL 205, Life, Sex, and Death for ASU Summer Session A. I am your professor for this course. My name is Diana Murtaugh-Coleman, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the materials we're going to be using and kind of orient you to the first week of the course. So we're going to be reading 3 stories from The Death of Ivan Ilyich, and other stories. It's got some letters and other writings from Tolstoy. It's a short volume, and we're going to take it piece by piece. This week we're just reading the introduction. We're also going to be reading from Wild Poets of Ecstasy. We're going to be talking about the meaning of the ecstatic and the kind of poetry that appears across religious traditions that's very germane to our course. And then we're going to be reading some ethnographic writings from Death, Mourning, and Burial. And so this is a different way in to the course. So this week you're reading introductions from all 3, and then in Death, Mourning, and Burial you'll actually be reading a couple chapters. So if you have not already ordered your texts, please get them ordered as soon as possible. I have posted all the readings for week 1 because I understand it can be a little challenging that first week to get everything ordered. So, but do be sure that your books are going to arrive in the next week so you'll be set for week 2. Okay, so week 1 is separated into two parts. You'll have an introductory part, so you'll open that folder first and follow the directions and look at those materials. And then there's a second folder in week 1, and you'll also want to open that up. You will notice that I have uploaded quite a few supplementary materials. So there's a folder with videos that are supplementary and podcasts that are supplementary, and there's a lot of them. Don't get overwhelmed. It's just that I want you to have the opportunity to go deeper into the material should you choose to do so. And you can, you have 6 weeks to look at all those things and check them out, so don't feel any pressure you don't even have to open those folders this week if you don't want to. Just know that they're there and you can return in following weeks. This is a religious studies course, and we're going to be looking at rites of passage as we find them in across human experience in different cultures, cultural logics, and what we call religion. So what is religion? And there's lots of different answers to that question, and it looks different in different places, and yet there's some things that seem familiar. Some would say that it's something that involves the transcendent, it involves a deity, it involves some kind of ritualistic sort of aspects, communities, it involves belief, can involve cultural identity and belonging. A spiritual moral system, the idea that there is some sort of invisible system at place, and we have to figure out what that is, and maybe it behooves us to pay attention to it and be part of it. So we'll talk about all those different kinds of systems throughout the course and who has what to say about what they think religion is. There's been, of course, no shortage of theorists and scholars working on this for a long time. So what are some approaches that we can take to the academic study of religion? Well, religious studies is an area that I was drawn to precisely because it allows us to drink from different wells of systems of understanding. So we have different disciplinary and theoretical approaches. I think it makes it very rich and interesting, and for any given problem that we're trying to solve, we can come at it from lots of different directions. So we're going to be doing that in this course, and I hope you like it. So we can think about religion as part of human psychology. We can think about religion from a biological perspective, from sociology, psychology, anthropology, theology, political science, and then within that there's lots of different ways to approach it. So, Marx and Engels would have one thing to say about religion, right? They were thinking about maybe how religion functioned as a means of social control within an economic system. We can and will be reading literary approaches. So how is the ecstatic experience, the effervescent, transformed and produced in poetry and music and literature? So we'll be thinking through these questions as we move through the course. And then within religions themselves, within one particular religion, we're usually going to see this range of expression. So you can think about religious communities within one tradition that might be drawn to kind of liberation theology, social justice kind of thinking and expressions, or something more mainstream where nobody's going to get too edgy, but people are going to, kind of reproduce what the systems they've inherited. We can think about mystic traditions where people want to throw off some of that orthodoxy, perhaps. They might find the dogma too confining, and they want to have some kind of personal relationship with God that they find through ecstatic expressions. We can think about the Sufis in Islam, Kabbalists in Judaism. We think about also lives of interiority where monks might go into a monastic setting, or nuns are in a cloister and they're living in community, but perhaps have withdrawn from the world. So, which is not the case for all communities, because they're not. Monks may not be monastic. Monks might be serving communities. So, anyway, we'll talk more about this, but just to get some ideas flowing, this week you should first download the syllabus and the assignment checklist. That's really important. I'd like you to download them, print them, spend some time looking through to get yourself oriented. How's this course going to work? What's going to be expected of me throughout? What questions do I have? And then I suggest that you get a notebook, like a physical notebook that you can write in, or if you're someone who prefers to do everything on your computer, then begin, open and dedicate an e-journal and say, okay, this is going to be my writing space. Each week you're going to be looking for 5 new either vocabulary words or terms or concepts that are new to you, and that's going to be part of your discussion board post, just to kind of pick up some language along the way. Then you're going to be answering questions. You will be reading from all 3 texts, and as I said, I've uploaded PDFs of everything you need for week 1, so that's there. Print those as well, so you can, unless you like to mark up stuff on your computer, if you have a program that allows that, I would suggest you print them and spend time. Then you can underline unfamiliar terms, you can look things up, you can make notes, you can scratch it on your text. For the same reason that I like you to get, used copies are fine, but I prefer you get paper-bound books so that you can also, you can make notes, you can use all kinds of markers, whatever works for your personal learning style. And then you have 3 things to do this week in terms of written work that will be graded. The first thing is posting an introduction, and obviously if you post the introduction you get points. That's a completion task. Then you will be responding to a prompt that I've posted. So within that prompt you'll put those 5 terms, words, vocabulary words or concepts that I talked about, and then you'll answer my prompt. And that should be, about a page, like 2 generous paragraphs, let's say 300 words-ish, 250 to 300 words. Then you are also going to respond to a classmate's post, and what I am not looking for you to say is, hey, great job. That's nice, that's kind, you can include that if you think somebody's written something provocative or interesting. But what I want you to do is to engage their ideas, to respond to some point that they're making, and it's fine to disagree with them. If you read something, you thought, oh, gee, I saw that differently. Explain why, be polite, be professional, be courteous, but explain why, make an intellectual argument. And if you're citing, please, if you're including material from the text, which I strongly encourage you to do, use quotation marks and cite the material. You just use the last name, comma, and the page number. And that would be just perfectly fine for our needs in this course. And you know, just put that in brackets. So I think that's everything for week 1, and I'm so excited to have all of you in this course and really looking forward to working with you throughout. Okay, there'll be more soon.